What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. And today, my goal is simple. I'm going to try and show you guys how to use some of the devices. Now, I'm gonna try and do all of them, but I might have to split them into separate parts. So, if you want to create your own game, if you want to create your own game in Fortnite, uh, hopefully this guide will help you out in getting it done because the guides that are available on YouTube and Epic's official guide is outdated. So, yeah, that's what this video is going to aim to fix. And I recently figured out how to get a very troublesome uh, device to work. So, yeah, so I have a test area already created. I just called it, at the time I was figuring out something else, so I called it prize, call it, prize test. So, once you're in creative, you have a lot of different things at your disposal. Um, Obviously, this isn't Creative 2.0. That's only on PC. Um, but in this mode, uh, you can pretty much build whatever you want. So what we are going to do is we're going to go from the essentials to the optional. All right. So uh, on the top of the screen, right in the center where you see the compass, uh, is your memory gauge. The more stuff you put on your map, the more that's going to fill up. So we have a pretty flat uh, area, so it's empty pretty much right now. But once you start putting stuff down, it'll start to fill up. And what you don't want it to do is to get all the way over to where the striped area is. Because once that happens, then you might want to consider deleting some stuff. Downside is it's a bit inaccurate. And the reason why I say that is because me and my friend was working on a game uh, a few days ago, and I noticed it like fluctuating a lot depending on where I was staring. So uh, just consider that as an estimate. All right, with that out of the way, let's get started. So you have two modes that you can access. Right now, I am what I'm referring to as player mode, which you can have access to your weapons and your building ability and stuff like that. Um, but if you press triangle, you go into uh, creative mode, and you'll get to see your uh, creative inventory. All right, and when you press up on the D-pad, when you're in creative, when you're in creative mode, you will get access to all of these assets. So you got your prefabs, which is like pre-built buildings and stuff like that. Um, you got your galleries, so you can like uh, you can either spawn in the entire gallery or you can just select an individual piece from that gallery, which is kind of nice. Then you got probably the most important uh, tab that you're going to use, and that's your devices. This houses everything from your player spawners, your enemy spawners, your vehicles, uh, all kinds of cool little stuff. Then you got your weapons, so you can like give yourself weapons and test them out or whatever. And yeah, that's about it. I'll show you some other uses for this later. Then you have your consumables. Now, technically, in creative, you're not really going to need consumables, but for whatever game you're trying to make, you might want to use these. And again, I'll show you how to use these. Uh, so any players that may play your game can actually utilize them. So you got like your ammo, your building materials, healing items, and various other stuff. A lot of this stuff I think is in Save the World, but you can use it here. Then you have your custom chest. So basically, uh, if there's any items that you want in the chest, you just highlight it, like these gloves, for example, and you press the button that says Add to Chest, and then it'll pop up here. And then and then you'll have the option to either make a chest or um, make a llama. Then the last one I have not figured out yet, so I'm still working on figuring this one out, and that is your levels. So I'm not exactly sure what these are for, but once I figure it out, I will make a video, make a dedicated video showing how these work, how this particular area works. All right, so that is all your assets that you can use, and then your My Island tab houses all of your game settings, uh, which will have like if you want it to be teams, how many teams, and various stuff like that. The settings tab is like where you can modify, like for example, how many coins a player will get for killing a another player, and you can also set like uh, your win goals. So like for example, let's say you want the game to end after somebody kills another player like 50 times, for example. You can set that here. And if you're basing it off a score, you can set that here too. UI, haven't really figured out its full potential, but this is where you're gonna come to disable or enable certain UI elements, so you can actually come in and turn on or off your material display. Uh, you can turn off health if you don't want if you don't want them to see how much health they have and stuff like that. You have a little bit of customization. So yeah, uh, and then the rest of these don't really you're not really going to use these that much. I haven't used this one, the debug option, much. Uh, this is for this is for publishing and backing up your maps if you so need. Or if you want to reset, there's a big red reset button right there, which will basically uh, delete everything on the map. It'll keep the map itself, but it'll delete everything that you placed on the map. Then you can enter your details and everything. And then if you have anybody helping you, this is where you give them privileges. But since it's just me, yeah, since it's just me, it's not gonna show anything. So then you have play, uh, your play menu or your play inventory again, where you show it shows all your weapons and any collectibles you may have. This is the menu that you normally see when you're playing BR Battle Royale. For those of you who don't know what BR is, but anyway, uh, so what we're gonna start is we're gonna start we're gonna start with the spawners. We're gonna start with the spawners. Now to the left of the screen, you'll see like a bunch of different filters. So you can either find all of the devices you want as is, or if you want to make it easier, you can use a filter. So I'm going to go to spawners. All right. And this consists of enemy spawners, player spawners, vehicle spawners, and everything. So anything that spawns anything will be here. So the first thing you want to place is the player spawner. And the reason being is because if you don't place it, every time you start the game, you will uh, you will start in the sky, like if you was playing battle royale. And I can actually demonstrate that real quick. So if I start the game without a player spawner, this will happen. All right. All right. So we're gonna go into flight mode just to cancel out that animation or the gliding animation. Okay. So now, if place if you place a player spawner, which you do by pressing X on PlayStation and then pressing the corresponding button to place it in your inventory. And then if to actually place it, you hold down the L2 button if you're on PlayStation. And since I put it on the up button, I'll press up on the D-pad, and there you go. Now, right now it's not placed, but in this state that it's in, which is like a hologram, uh, you can rotate it, you can resize it, and everything. The player, the player, the player spawner, I really wouldn't worry about resizing it because it's not gonna affect the actual player. I tried it. I thought you could make yourself giant, but you can't. All right. So we have our player spawner. Now, within this player spawner, you have a menu that you can access, and not a lot of different things can be changed in this one, but by default, it'll work as intended. But if you're doing a team, if you're doing a team battle, you may want to set the team. So if I set it for team one, it'll show a number one on the silhouette. And then if I change it, it'll change as well. As long as you save your changes, it'll always apply it to the actual device. So since we're not really doing a team thing right now, we're just gonna leave that there. All right. Uh, Now, one thing that took me a little bit to figure out is that you can move your devices if you've placed it and you decide you don't want it there anymore. So if you're on PlayStation, you just press uh, L2 while you're still in uh, creative mode, and then it'll pick it up, and then you can move it to wherever you want. So if I wanted it right here, that'll be where it'll be. Now, at this point, even though I placed it, as you can see, there's still a hologram for it, and that's why. That's because um, it switched to copy mode. So if I place it right here, now we have two. Okay, so that's actually really handy, especially if you was gonna place more than one to begin with. That's really really handy. So we're gonna delete this one. All right. So that's the player spawner. Now if you press up, we have the uh, creature spawner. Now the creature spawner is the most commonly used device for zombie games. So I'm gonna place it like right here. All right. I'll place it right here, and I can place multiple if I want to. But what I recommend is for you to place one if you are planning on using the same settings for a particular device. I recommend that you place one and set the settings, and then just copy it, so you're not going to each one setting the settings individually. Now, if you're going to do something different for each one, then by all means, place as many as you need. Now, this one has its own settings as well. The only thing I'm going to change is I'm going to change it to Fiend, and I'm going to have it spawn like 8. We're going to reduce the spawning period. The distance, you can change these to improve the distance. Uh, oh, and then you can make it invisible so it doesn't show up during gameplay. And there's quite a few settings for this one that you can change, but those are the only settings I'm going to change for this one. Now, one thing I almost forgot about is the uh, functions tab and the events tab. Now, this one, this one you don't really need to change anything too much unless you're planning on uh, making it where the enemies give the players coins when uh, they are defeated. That's the only time you'll need to come into the functions or events. Other than that, you're really not going to use these all that much. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And as you can see, there's a white circle that basically indicates where they are going to uh, where they're going to spawn. They're going to spawn within this range. So if I go in here and I go here and I change this to 10, the circle will get bigger. Actually, it kind of looks the same size. Hold on. Let's do this. Okay, yeah, that's about the same size. So with certain some devices, it'll change the size of the circle. So let's put this back down to 7. All right. Now, on its own, with this, you pretty much have a game ready to go. This is like the basic of the basic. Okay. So, uh, if you're gonna just do something like this, I would just do like a score limit, for example, instead of a kill limit. I think you can set an AI kill limit before the match ends, but yeah. Now, this is gonna bring me to another particular topic. You don't want your players to be unarmed. So, what you're going to need is an item spawner, which is what this little device is. And I'm going to show you guys how to set this up. So, you place it down like normal. All right. Now, I think for each item spawner, it can hold up to 3 items, I believe. So it could be anything from weapons, ammo, or even coins. So for this one, let's say we're gonna put like three three weapons. So right now this device is actually not even active. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into our inventory and we're gonna put 3 weapons. So let's do this one, this one, and we'll do a boomerang. Okay. Now, I have those in my inventory now. So if I click R1 and then we go to drop it, I press the wrong button. The device will pick it up and then it will activate. Now, you could leave it like that. It just, spawn in uh, two more item spawners if that's how you want to do it. But if you want more than one weapon to be available for one weapon spawner or item spawner, sorry, then you drop another gun. It'll be picked up, and now it'll start cycling through the weapons. Drop the boomerang, and there we go. Matter of fact, let's test out a little theory. Uh, let's do Pop-O-Matic. uh, Flashlight. Okay, let's put the sword in there. We're gonna see if it'll pick up the sword too. If not, then yeah, it can only hold up to 3. Oh, it actually took the sword. So you can actually put more than that. So shoot. With that being said, I don't know what the limit is now. So I thought the limit was 3 for a lot of this stuff, but I mean, hey, learn something new every day. So yeah, there you go. You have an item spawner, and then we can do another one. We can do another one, and let's say let's see. I think the weapons I put in there, I think they all take these. So let's do ammo. We'll do ammo, and we'll do this. And for the heck of it, we'll put some coins in there too. Now, if you notice, if I go into player mode, I don't have any of those items. Well, if you go into your inventory and then go to play, there you go. You see all the items right there. So we're gonna drop all of our ammo that we put in here. Which will only give us 100 anyway. Okay. And it picked it up. Now we're gonna drop all of these. And just like before, it starts cycling through it. Now we're gonna drop all of these. Okay. So now You got ammo, whatever that is, and coins that you can choose from. So yeah, using item spawners, you can put just about anything in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete this one. We're gonna keep that one though. Okay, now uh, let's see. Then you have well, okay, traps. Traps don't really count. Um, so we're gonna kind of skip over this one. Okay. We have a creature placer, which I haven't used yet, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly how that works. Um, then we have a wildlife spawner, which is actually pretty neat. How you can set this one up. So we're gonna place this one in our inventory, and just to save some time, we're going to do a guard spawner as well, and then a reboot van I haven't used yet in creative. I know how it's used in BR though. Oh, okay, this one's pretty important. An item granter. So I'm gonna show you guys how to use this one as well, and then we'll come back to the rest in a bit. Okay, so we'll start with the wildlife spawner. So the name in itself, the name in itself kind of tells you what it does, and it spawns, well, wildlife. So I'm gonna place it right here, and as you can see, there's a circle, and this is essentially where they're gonna start spawning. Uh, Within this one, you can choose anything from a wolf, a rafter, frogs, chickens, boars, everything. It even has a randomizer where it'll randomly select prey, so it'll be like chicken and frogs. I don't think I don't think there's really anything else that would be considered prey. And then you can do random predator, which only consists of uh, the wolves and the rafters. And you can do oh yeah, I forgot about these. You can do sky jellies as well. So let's do rafters. We'll have about 8 of those spawn. Oh, my controller's about to die. Uh, we'll do like a 1 second wait time. And then we'll just leave everything else as default. And now the indicator has changed into a rafter because that's what I chose. So any animal that you choose, that's what will show on the spawner. And so when I start, they will start spawning. Now, again, with all of these devices, you can actually you can actually tie them to each other. So, say for example, I have it where this only activates after I kill the first zombie, for example. You can have it like that, or you can have it where this doesn't activate until the player spawns, which usually it's gonna do anyway. Or you can have it where it will only activate if you kill a rafter. There's a lot of possibilities for uh, putting conditions on these devices. All right. Now, the guards, the guards are kind of interesting. So, in that default form, they will be considered enemies. But what I found out fairly recently, actually, is that you can actually uh, make these your allies. So if I place one, you'll see a circle, which again, they'll start spawning. And if you go in here, you can choose what type you want. This is I forget what season this was. I think this one was like season 3, I think. Where you had the shadow and the ghost that you can choose from. So you can choose what kind of guard you want, which is kind of cool. Oh wow, that's kind of cool. Oh, you can have it be random. Okay, I think I'm gonna do that. And then uh this one will only have it where it spawns 6. And then this is where you would change if you want it to be your enemy or your ally. So by default, it'll be helping the wildlife and creatures. You don't want that. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna put it on team 1. You can change the spawn rate. We'll do 1 second. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. If you have buildings on your map and you don't want them to spawn through the buildings, you might want to turn this off. But since I don't have buildings right now, it can stay on. And that's pretty much the same as the wildlife spawner as well, and the zombie or the creature spawner. So just for fun, I'm gonna give them a ridiculous amount of health. Decent amount of shield. And everything else I'm gonna just leave as default. I think you can choose you can choose yeah, oh yeah, you can choose the accuracy too, which is kinda cool. So let's do very high. I don't think you can choose what weapons they have. No, you can't choose what weapon they have. but they do have some pretty good weapons already. So okay, so we have guard, uh, our guard set up. Okay, and the last thing that we're gonna talk about as far as spawners go, which is also important depending on what game you're trying to make, is the item granter. Okay, so what this device can do, it can do a very uh, it can do quite a bit of stuff, and there's actually one setting that you want to make sure you turn off, uh, because if you don't, it'll get rid of all of your items in your inventory when it rewards you the item. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go in here. Oh, my coins are gone. Oh yeah, that's right. I did I did drop them all. We're gonna put coins in there. Depending on how many coins you want the zombies to drop is determined here. So hit drop, and then you can put however many coins you want to be rewarded. So we're gonna hit this. So that's like 20 coins right there. Alright. Then we go into the inventory, and the first, where is it? Okay, there we go. Uh, okay, so this setting right here, you want to set to keep all. Okay, and then you can put multiple items in this one as well. Uh, so if you're only gonna put one item, just leave this on current item. Uh, but if you're gonna do um, if you're gonna do more than one, you could do all items, or I guess if you leave it on current item, it'll do whatever item that is currently on before it switches. Uh, everything else is everything else you can mess around with, but you don't have to change anything else unless you're trying to do something more advanced. Um, now, for the first time, we're gonna go into the functions area, and you want to go to the third option where it says grant item when received from. Click on that. You want to click on the device that you want to add. So in this case, we're going to do creature spawner, and then it'll automatically assign an action. So whenever a zombie gets eliminated, it'll reward the coins. Then you can save it, and there you go. You can also do it with wildlife as well if you want. But we're just gonna focus on the zombies. Now we're gonna do a test run real quick, but there's one thing I need to change, and it's actually kind of annoying because it always turns it off. So let's see. All right, here we go. Show gold coins. show gold resource count, and you want to make sure that says yes. And now, when we start the game, you'll be able to see however many coins we get. So let's start the game. And as you can see, we have shadows spawning. Oh, I forgot to change the timer for this. Look at that. They is going ham. Now if we go over here, the zombies start to spawn. And as you can see, oh, actually, hold on. I forgot to change a particular setting. So we gotta go in here and here we go. Infinite resources. We're gonna turn off. Infinite ammo, we're gonna turn on for now. And that's all we need to change. Oh, wait. Let's change this the timer on this real quick. Alright, there we go. Now we can start the game again. Alright, there we go. This reminds me of Zelda. I'm not gonna lie. But as you can see, we are indeed getting coins. We got like 400 coins already. That is just going ham on these guys. Maybe I had to move the farm. Chaotic. There we go. There we go. Get him. They're killing the zombies now. Okay. So yeah, you get the idea. So I'm gonna end the tutorial here for now. This will be part one. Uh, Next tutorial we will cover. Oops. Next tutorial we will cover. What else is there to cover? We'll cover the vending machine, and we'll do a couple of the. We'll do a couple of the vehicle spawners as well, because you can actually make some changes to that as well. And then we'll move on to some other tools. So hopefully uh, this guide helped you out a little bit. Um, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I will try to help you to the best of my abilities. Uh, I'm learning how to use this stuff every day, so uh, the more I learn, the more I will have to show you guys. So, yeah, again, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.